present her welcome address. Please put your hands together as I make welcome the head of department.
I most heartily thank Chief Tony Onyema, PhD, for former Managing Director of the Sun newspaper, Bureau Chief, African Independent Television, Enugu, Mr. Ken Eseni, General Manager, Secretary Board of Directors, Babando Media Group, Comrade Monique Okechukwu, and Chief Correspondent, Head of Investigative Desk, Punch newspaper, Tessie Igomu. We are very grateful to all of you for accepting to honor our invitation. And I say a big welcome to you. Incidentally, some of our guests are products of this department. And we are proud and happy welcoming you back home where your experiences will be so valuable in mentoring these junior ones still undergoing training here. Let me equally thank the planning committee of this special event, department in Zebra committee.
Before I
Mr. Honora Annie Wobodo, you're welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I am here to deliver a speech by the founder of Beyond Community Care Foundation, BCAF, Chief Dennis Ezebilo, Igwe-elect of Amanuke, Okamoto. So, if there's any mistake here, the mistake is mine. But if there's any applause, please. May we use this essential role in character building as well as in shaping the personalities of individuals. Thank you and remain blessed.
Thank you very much. You can.
Let me welcome everybody once again. I want to go, and we had an arrangement with Guardian that the best 5 graduating students from the department will come to serve at the Guardian. That's how I found myself at the Guardian in Lagos and started a career. So it is that with that small story that I express my pleasure to welcome you all to this maiden edition of Town and Gown series of the Department of Mass Comm, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awka. Many of us have journeyed from different towns to meet those of you in the classroom with a common objective of exploring the emerging opportunities in our disrupted media and communication industry. The concept of Town and Gown dates back to the Middle Ages and has evolved into a platform for exploring university community engagement. I must therefore commend the faculty and students of the department for embracing this unique concept, which will, no doubt, enrich the learning experiences of the students and prepare them well for the industry. This initiative will also position the department as a serious-minded, industry-sensitive, and practical-oriented knowledge production center for media and communication studies. I'm very happy that I yielded to the pressure of restless Dr. Emeka Odogwu to chair this occasion because I have some sentimental attachment to this department. I've already told you one because of Professor Okunda. I have another friend in this department, Professor Kate Omedowa, whom I served in the State School. I can see my able station manager ever harassing me for one thing or the other. She's a friend and so many others that are in the department are my friends. Our world is today governed by disruptions and innovations driven by technology. These disruptions are taking place across many industries. Most of you, all of you here students, know about Alibaba. You know about Amazon. You know about Uber. These are, of course, in Nigeria, you know about Iroko TV. You know about Linda Ikeji, who built the biggest media brands without tangible media assets. COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated these disruptions in the media industry. I will speak specifically about the newspaper where I have my background. Globally, newspapers, for example, have been closing at a rapid rate, buckling under the pressure from changing news consumption habits, advertising shifts, and other economic factors. This has worsened a pre-existing financial crisis in the industry, with many shutdowns and layoffs. Many newspapers have become so slim that you would think they are preparing for one of those Western-oriented beauty pageants. All these closures, layoffs, and asset sales are coming at a time when quality information is crucial in the fight against disinformation. With this disruption, some skeptics have predicted that newspapers will sooner or later cease to exist as we know them today. In fact, one professor at the University of North Carolina had the courage to predict the exact date newspapers will stop existing. In his controversial book, The Vanishing Newspaper, Saving Journalism in the Information Age, Professor Philip Meyer predicts that the last daily newspaper reader in the world, will check out in 2044. In fact, he mentioned the exact month the newspaper will stop being in existence. October 2044. According to this professor, there will be no newspaper again in the world. But should we accept this doomsday scenario as the truth? Recall that pundits have been predicting the demise of the venerable newspaper ever since the first radio broadcast hit the airwaves. When television came, they still felt that the two represented the final nail in print journalism's coffin. What has happened is that emphasis has shifted to the quality of content rather than the medium. This means that content is not only the king, but the beautiful bride of the news business. The sweet old wine called news on paper, is being repackaged into a new digital wine scheme. Unlike Professor Philip Meyer, I am very confident that newspaper will survive the technological attack, but will be in different forms and structures. My confidence is borne by certain developments in the industry. About 8 years ago, in the heat of these disruptions, 3 notable American billionaires spent a whopping $720 million buying up newspaper companies across America. Why would John Henry? I hope some of you know who is John Henry. If you're a Liverpool fan, you know who is John Henry. John Henry is the owner of Liverpool Football Club. The man bought Boston Globe for $70 million. Why indeed will Warren Buffett, easily the world's wealthiest investor, spend $400 million to buy some newspapers across the US? Tell me why Jeff Bezos, the billionaire owner of Amazon, a new media retail outlet, will buy Washington Post that's 140 years old for $250 million. Note that these men are not gamblers. There must be something they have seen about the future of newspaper that we are not seeing. They are obviously investing in trusted media brands, and they plan to take these brands into the digital world. And this is already happening with Washington Post, New York Times, and the rest of it. It's interesting to know that these disruptions in the media have also thrown up unlimited opportunities for entrepreneurship. The new media ecosystem now offers a range of opportunities based on technological, social, and economic developments. For you as students, whenever you graduate, to operate in this environment, you will need new skills to deliver news in all formats. It is no longer feasible for you to write news for a specific format. For instance, these guys in front of me are reporters for different media organizations. Time will come when, as a reporter, you are covering news content for both print, radio, and television, and online. So the basic skill you need to acquire very well is writing skill. In those days, people would say, no, I don't want to go to print media, I want to go to PR or broadcast. Therefore, you don't need writing skill. That is, whatever you want to do, the basic skill and other skills you need to take is writing skill. Because content is what you need to deliver in all platforms. This is because the internet and social media have created dynamic new platforms and blurred the distinction between print and broadcast. This means that universities must reflect this reality in their curriculum. There are plenty of opportunities for journalists in the new media ecosystem. Note that all the new opportunities require good writing, like I said. For you to survive online, you must have compelling content that is credible and truthful. Some of these opportunities, I have mentioned some of them. One is that on graduation, you can be a social media specialist. A social media specialist works for a brand or organization with the public through social media platforms. What they do essentially is to tweet, share, like, and post content of a particular brand. And once you attract traffic, you begin to attract advertising. Second one is that you can also be a content creator. You create content for different platforms. Recently, I met two young guys that went to Babcock University. They read mass comm like you, and they were friends in class. On graduation, after their youth service, they decided to form a company. What they do now is that they create content for Netflix. Quietly, these young guys have been doing documentaries, 30-minute documentaries, and they've been selling it to Netflix. They don't bother looking for work anywhere. So instead of you is videography.
The golden-haired gentleman who sat beside me with the beards, I admire those things, you know. the Dean, Professor Okunda. Whenever she appears at an event, you can't but talk about her. She's had an amazing impact on nearly everybody who is anybody in the industry. And then the organizers of this event have the then Anambra State University of Technology, ASUTEC, Oka. So I came to Oka. Again, over the years, I have maintained a very good thriving relationship, thanks to Professor Okunda, thanks to Efe Obi, who is the head of station, with Unizic's legitimate legal community FM station, Unizik FM. It has been, I hope, mutually beneficial. It involved mentorship, it involved training. And then I guess I must say this. Yes, I should mention it. My fiery but very adorable wife is a loud and proud graduate of the Department of Applied Microbiology and Brain of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I have never stopped hearing about it in my home, and that sometimes I have to concede that very reluctantly the other Unizik is, well, you can't compare it with Ife, can you? Okay, I think I better just leave this before I get stoned out of the place. So you see, I am permanently tied to this institution until the very last day of my life or my marriage, but there you are. So basically, I'm a storyteller. I tell stories. My grandmother told stories. My mother told stories. So you see, it comes naturally to me to tell stories. When I was invited to speak at the Town and Gown event here, my natural inclination was to tell seven very good stories that would effectively capture the spirit of the event. However, when I saw the flyers advertising the event, I saw them on social media. Jika Ato was listed as guest lecturer. That started my dilemma. My audience, I understand, is going to be made up of persons, young persons who have for the past 2 years or 4 years been subjected. Can somebody please look up bogus for me? Please double quick time. B-O-G-U-S, that's how it's spelled. Anybody found it? Who's found the meaning? Yes? Yes, read it. Sorry, I can hear you. Counterfeit or fake? I beg your pardon. Okay, it says bogus means counterfeit of these from the mortuary, or it's called the hearse. It's spelled a steady flow of agricultural produce to England. Now, I do not intend to knock any profession or any course, but who would design such lofty courses as classics, which included Latin, philosophy, and European history, for a young emerging entity which was preparing to take on the challenges of modern nationhood, what the British did? And now, that system they created was based on memorization. Unfortunately, we have carried it on to today. I don't need to go too far to look for examples. I could ask for examples here, but I'll give you an example. Growing up as a student in the seminary, I memorized the conjugation of verbs and the declension of nouns. I drew and committed to memory the body parts of the grasshopper, the cockroach, and the 3 types of tropical mosquitoes, the Anopheles, the Culex, and the Aedes. I buried rats, and after a few days, I exhumed them. To a very early age, the child is led through the process of using computers, in Anambra State. Erosion, is it natural? What can mass communication do? What can you do as a mass communicator to mediate in the matter of erosion? We'll probably talk about that. So when you have information, this information will help you. It will enable you to design a suitable intervention strategy. The not so strong stations will be bought over. Somebody will buy them. They will merge. and the All Saints Orgasm, do we need to take permission from you, madam, every time I want to say come? So let me say it once again. I have thoroughly enjoyed this intercourse, and I hope we can do it again another time. Thank you very much.
Oh, my one. Oh, my one. Put your hands together.
Well, I'm called upon to give a brief remark. These dignitaries to please let this thing be. Of course, it's a series. We'd like to be having you all the time, so that you know the children you ask to come to the school, what are going to be. On this note, I want to congratulate the organizers and say, please, let us reap bounteously from this intercourse. Thank you very much.
Please, that applause is not...
Thank you so much, the moderator, the chairman and co-chairman of this event, Chief Uche Mora, the guest speaker and our investigative desk, Punch newspaper, and Comrade Monique Okechuku, General Manager and Secretary. Encompassing, embracing is all encompassing. Embracing the entire vista of university engagements. It is a phenomenon which is crucial for the realization of my vision and mission for Nnamdi Azikiwe University, which is to lead the university to become the best university in Nigeria, among the best 10 universities in Africa, and among the best 200 universities in the world. Therefore, this Town and Gown series, which the Department of Mass Communication, in partnership with Beyond Community Care Foundation, has commendably started, will certainly engage the attention of my administration in the quest for a holistic development of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I thank you all for coming and wish you a fruitful participation, and by the powers conferred on me and the Council and Senate, declare this function open to the glory of God in Jesus' name.
Assistant Reproduction Specialist. Thank you, sir.
The founder of this great foundation believes fully that we are all equal, and we want to go all lengths to assist in any way to assist to make sure that we achieve our dream, we achieve our political life. Thank you very much.
Presenting you with this school to continue your services, to continue your work to the glory of God, of the
video. Please, can we all settle down, please? The hall is a bit rowdy. Everybody settle down, please. Photographers, everybody settle down. Good afternoon, everybody. Great music students. Great mascot students. Okay, this is now my session. I'm now the co-chairman of the event. So people, go to the different room. I'm a bit disappointed that my Oga Ricardo spent hours and days preparing his paper, finished his paper. Nobody in the audience has a question for me. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to do this way. Can you all cover your journal? Just put it down. I'm not going to read the journal. I have a present for whoever that will answer this question. Please, where is for the place I'll catch you? Kenneth, where is Kenneth? Kenneth, bring my bag for me, please. Quickly. Bring my bag. Please, just listen for the question. Don't look at your journal. Give me the bag. I want somebody to answer for me which organization in the southeast of Nigeria was Jikato the MD CEO? If you have the answer, raise your hand. Don't look at your journal. Okay, let me bring jacket. Come on, please. Come on. Microphone for her, please. And I have the president for her. And the president for her. Microphone, quickly. I said, which broadcast organization in the southeast of Nigeria was Mr. Jikato the MD CEO? Please, let's appreciate that. Thank you very much. So to show that she was listening. Okay, Mr. Jika around. Where's Jika? Jika, I know you're a security. Come please. Jika, I have a question for you, Jika. Jika, come back to your road. Okay, I have a question for Jika. When I started my job as the MD CEO of Africa Broadcasting Service, that was in July 2014. When I arrived, I met a lot of challenges on the ground. Now, what I'm telling you so that you guys will learn. Prior to that, I knew the guy by name. I never met him, but I knew about the guy in the industry. So what did I do? I reached out to Jika. I called him on the phone and said, listen, I know about all the wonderful things you and your team are doing at ESPN, please, you know that verse in the Bible, come over to the Mesopotamian campus, right? So I said, listen, I need you and your guys to come over to ABS. That thing you guys are doing at ABS, come and do it for us. So I was soliciting for what? For what? What was I soliciting for? Sorry? Support, training support. You know what you guys said? I had met him, he said, okay, he called me my brother. He said, my brother, listen. You will not benefit if you come. Rather, bring your people to ESPS and let them stay there for days and then they will see what we're doing and they will learn what we're doing. So today, first of all, let me appreciate you openly for being a part of the work we did. So changing the name of Uganda to ED. ED. Everybody agreed. So Uganda was going to be known as ED. And then Valentine said, no, Mr. President, Valentine, what has ED? What do you have against? He said, Mr. President, do you know a country named Cyprus? He said, Cyprus. What has Cyprus got to do with Jacob there? He said, Mr. President, I'll tell you. Cyprus is a small country tucked away between Greece and Turkey. Mr. President, the people of Cyprus are called Cypriots. And my fear is that if you change the name of Uganda to ED, the people of Uganda will be called. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So with that, we can start the panel discussion. Thank you very much.